And welcome to the Lakers Fast Break. I'm your host, Joe Soro, for tonight's festivities. Gerald Glassford may show after the show, and the show right now going on in Vegas is Wrestlemania. Yes, Wrestlemania still is around, and it's still a thing, folks. But tonight is Laker night, baby, on the Lakers Fast Break. And again, I'm your host, Joe Soro. So we are going to delve into this pretty extensively. I didn't know what to think maybe about 4 hours ago until it was official that Kevin Durant was not going to play. I actually thought Kevin Durant was hot dogging a little bit. I actually didn't believe that he was not going to play. But it turns out that news is that he might not play game 2 either. Well, tonight he didn't play. And it was a huge advantage for the Lakers, enough to the point where the Lakers were pretty much in control of this game the entire 48 minutes. So a win at home, a win in a series that was, I'd say, as 50-50 as it got until tip-off. But the Lakers showed amazing grit, and they've been showing this really for the last couple months now. This isn't something new. They won tonight 107-98, and that score wasn't actually as close as the score says. It just wasn't. I thought the Lakers dominated this game pretty handedly, to the point where they may have not gone on a 20-25 point run, but they pretty much controlled it, even with that little lapse at the end of the first half. And I can't say enough how proud I am, and I'm continually to be proud of this team, of JJ Redick's game plans, of the players just playing their rear ends off. This is not, again, something new. This was not a playoff energy. This is how they've been playing now, guys, for a while. Whether Luka was playing in March or Austin Reeves, or when Luka and Austin Reeves weren't playing, they were still playing like this. And it's pretty amazing that they were able to control, even with Durant out. Houston's got some good players on there. It's amazing that they were able to control a playoff game with really two of the best scorers sitting down. And LeBron, we're going to get to LeBron here in detail, because my boy EJ said something to me today while we're watching the game, and it's something we already know about that, and it's starting to really fester at this point into something really good. And it might be that, sometimes in life, getting a little bit humbled, no matter how great you are, is a huge positive for you, the person who is being humbled. And LeBron James, one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you guys have noticed too with my demeanor towards him, LeBron James, I believe, was humbled. And I'll go into more detail on that because I want to talk about the game more. But he got humbled this year, guys, and his return on that has been nothing but unselfishness and team-oriented, and basically telling the Lakers organization, hey, look, guys, I get it. Call it maturity, call it whatever you want, but I want to come back. And again, I'll get to that in a minute. But tonight, how can you say that this? I mean, if you're going to pick somebody as player of the game, I mean, can you really get away from Luke Kennard? I mean, Luke Kennard was an absolute delight tonight, and there were several guys, by the way, that played amazing tonight. I'm going to get to that, but tonight's game was Luke Kennard's night. He dropped 27 tonight, and he played 38 minutes too. He's not used to playing that many minutes, but boy, did they need every minute of that. But 27 points weren't just 27 points. It was when he made his points, and he was 100% from three tonight, and every single time he hit those threes was in that moment during the game that you really needed it. Those type of shots is how I always would describe the Alex Carusos, the Kentavious Caldwell Popes, the Rajon Rondos, right? Because those guys are not technically snipers. Kennard is, right? He's a sniper. That's his game. But timely shots is more important than being a great shooter. And not only is Kennard a great shooter, but he hit them in a timely manner in a playoff game. That right there is how legends grow. Now, I'm going to calm down a little bit. It's just game one. Lakers are not still in favor of going all the way. However, I'm looking at this as if they can somehow sneak this sucker out, anything can happen, right? In today's NBA, anything can happen. I'd say if it was 10 years ago, there would be no chance. But at this point, with how now KD out of nowhere gets hurt, you've had Luka get hurt, you've had Austin Reeves get hurt. I'm not wishing anybody to get hurt anywhere, nowhere. I'm not. That's not the kind of guy I am. However, it has been a situation here in the NBA lately. If someone gets hurt here, someone gets hurt there, and then maybe Luka's healthy and maybe Austin's healthy. You never know. So we're going to sit here. I'm going to enjoy this little run, this game tonight. I figured tonight, if they were able to win this game, they're going to be extremely confident going into game 2. And if they split, it's still not a good thing, because I had said if they win the first 2 games, and this was before I found out KD wasn't playing, if they can get the first 2, they have a very good shot at winning this, whether it's in 4, 5, or 6. Just win the first 2 games at home, and I think they can probably steal a game on the road with something. And then, and if even if not, let's say they win every home game. Well, they win every home game, then they win the series 4-3, and then at that point, in a weird way, the longer this series takes, the less time you need. The less time, right, for waiting, right? So you get that extra 3 games in there. Let's say, again, I'm not going to wish the Lakers to lose, but if the Lakers win this series in 7, that's just more time for Luka and AR to get healthy if they are going to play in the second round. So that's something to think about here. I'm already seeing Brawny posts. Guys, come on, man. Really? I mean, I'm going to answer your questions. But this is Luke Kennard night, and I'm going to go down the line here. We'll talk to you know what? You got to give the audience what they want. You guys want me to answer those questions? I will. But right now, Luke Kennard, player of the game for me. LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, and Marcus Smart all amazingly contributed, as well as Jared Vanderbilt, as well as Jake LaRavia. Thank you for hitting 4 out of 4 free throws. By the way, it seemed like everyone was missing except him and DeAndre. And then Jackson Hayes, who played some stout defense. I'd say this was probably his best playoff game of his career. So everyone did their part. Everyone did their part. The 8-man rotation of LeBron, Rui, DeAndre, Marcus, Luke, and then Jared, Jake, and Jason, the Jays. We got the Jays everywhere here today. I think that's probably something you're going to start seeing on the regular. I think that's the way they're going to go until Luka and AR return. So there is one issue from tonight's game, and that was the free throws, something that we've seen before. And, again, luckily for us, Laker fans, Houston Rockets didn't do that much better at the free throw line. I believe they missed 8. Lakers missed 9. In the end, it didn't matter, but I hope they can clean that up before the next game, because you never know when you'll need them. Guys like Sengun that usually play pretty well against the Lakers. Thompson, Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd was hitting his shots, but not really effective where it needed to be. I think he struggled on defense, and he really couldn't guard a traffic cone at this point. So they exploited him pretty bad. Thompson wasn't really as good of a defender he is. I just didn't see much going on with him. And then Jabari Smith and guys like Jason Tate, Terry Eason, they were okay, but I just didn't feel at any point during this game that the Lakers were going to lose this game, even when they were only up 1. I just didn't see it. The Lakers had an absolute stranglehold on this game, and I just felt proud again. I have felt proud about this team for the last month to 2 months. I just love the way they're playing. I love JJ Redick's game plans. It's just been really good basketball, and this team is not that talented. It isn't. It's talented in a certain way, but not this talented to the point where they can dominate a game like this without their 2 best scorers. Pretty amazing. Props to JJ, man. There's no other way to look at this at this point. You gotta game plan's working. So we're gonna see if they can do this again for game 2 and beyond. I'm gonna get to some of your questions here real quick, guys. Let's see here. El Rosto with the super chat. Yes, thank you for that, El Rosto. We had a good time tonight on the old Discord. We had a lot of excitement. We were watching the Dodger game too. Dodgers lost, unfortunately, but again, game one, whatever of 400 games, so we're okay there. But tonight is a Laker night. Dodger night is every night. Tonight was a Laker night highlighted. So very, very happy with the result tonight, and we're gonna continue to go until someone might show up. I think Legend may show up. I'm not sure yet, and then Glassford might show up at some point. I don't know when, but if not, I'll be the guy here, and then I'm going to have my show after this show. So for those of you who want to stay up a little bit longer after, let's see. Good to see everybody. Juan, what's up? Okay, I'm glad you brought this up, Trojan. So we talked about this on Discord, and this has been a discussion the last few games, actually. Ever since JJ called out DeAndre Ayton's hand issues, being able to catch the ball, something that we've been saying for almost the entire year, I haven't seen him drop a pass. So what does that tell you, guys? What does that tell you? Think about this for a second. I used to talk about this all the time about Kwame Brown. They used to say Kwame Brown has small hands, right? Relative to what? He has small hands to what? Regular people, he has huge hands. And the last time I checked, a basketball is a basketball. Whether you have normal hands, big hands, or extremely big hands. Now, big hands in the NBA are Dr. J, Kawhi Leonard, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan. Kobe didn't have big hands relative to those guys. I never saw him fumbling the ball. Matter of fact, he had a problem fumbling the ball early in his career, and he fixed it. And DeAndre Ayton doesn't look like he's got small hands. Guys that don't catch the ball, guys that are always fumbling the ball, are usually concentration lacking. That's usually where that comes from. They're not paying attention. It's not about the hands. It's actually about the concentration. In certain cases where you're trying to dunk the ball in traffic, yeah, those things matter. Charles Barkley used to talk about that. He goes, the reason why he used to dunk with two hands is because he couldn't palm the ball. He had small hands relative to what he would have probably needed to dunk those balls with one hand. So he would dunk with two hands so that he wouldn't fumble the ball. So it looks like he adjusted. He adjusted mentally, focus-wise, and how he squeezed the ball when it came to him. So props to DeAndre Ayton. He had 19 and 10 tonight. And they needed every point and every rebound, and he has been phenomenal. Yes, good Lakers win. Woot woot. Is that seriously, Joker? That's the woot woot. That's what it is. That's what you're doing now. Let's see here. I definitely thought Kevin Durant would play. Yeah, I thought he was going to play too. I thought it was a little. I thought he was playing a little bit of yo-yo on people, but then at the same time, I started hearing things like about an hour before I heard game time decision. As soon as I heard game time decision, an hour before the game, I said, "Oh shit, maybe this isn't a joke." And then, of course, he got called out. So I don't know if something happened in practice or what. Houston sucks. Their youngish guys has stagnated. There's some truth to that, Frank. Yeah, there is some truth to that, and I think it's offensively challenged. I think that's where they've kind of lacked. But you have to also factor in that Fred VanVleet got injured early in the year, and he's the coordinator of that offense. They don't really have a guard. They needed to get a guard, and there was a lot of talks about them getting Trae Young at the draft. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of talks. We were talking a lot about that, where they would need somebody like that because they have some defense. They have good, they have good defenders. They have young, good defenders that can ball, but they needed a point guard. But I think the reason why they didn't do it, a couple of reasons. One is because it's Trae Young, and Trae Young's starting to do some weird things. They don't know if he's going to continue to do what he does, not in a bad way. The other is they probably would have had maybe Atlanta asked too much, and they said no. So, but that's the guy they would have needed. And Fred VanVleet would have helped this team. Somebody that can orchestrate the offense. They didn't have anybody that can do that. And Durant, you all saw what happened 2 games ago and 3 games ago when they were in Houston, when the Lakers were on that Houston 2-step. They just blitzed Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant didn't know what to do. He couldn't get the ball anywhere. Houston couldn't adjust. I thought they'd adjust after the second game. They couldn't adjust. They don't got anybody to orchestrate that offense. So until they find a legit point guard that can kind of guide this team, they're going to have these problems. Let's see here. Where are we? Joe question. Kennard had 27. When is the last time Austin Reeves had 27? I don't know. I'd have to look back. Let me see here. When was the last time? Let me look at the schedule here. So game by game schedule. They're already in postseason here. Let's go to regular season. So the last time, I believe the last time Austin had 27 or more was against Denver, March 14th. That was the infamous missed free throw, putback, tie game, win in overtime game. That was the last time. I'm not surprised we even won. We have a few things to clean up. A good win. Any win right now is huge, no matter what's going on, no matter who they're playing. How bad is the KD injury, Joe? I heard his knee is not good, and it's looking like he's going to miss game 2 as well. I don't know if that's going to change between now and game 2 because there is a long separation between game 1 and game 2, but there's word that he's not going to make it to number 2. I think Houston wants to split and then have him ready for game 3. I think that's ultimately what they're going to be doing here. Kennard, a great scoring game, and this is not an isolated situation. This is Luke has been ramping up here for the last few weeks. So props to Rob Pelinka. I'm so bipolar on this. Earlier today, I was pissed off that Jordan Goodwin had such a good game last night, beating Golden State, and I had discussions with some people out in Phoenix and then some of the people here within our community, and how much better would this team be if Jordan Goodwin was on it and not Bronny James. Because they decided to go with Marcus Smart versus Jordan Goodwin. I'm saying they should have kept Goodwin and released Bronny James, right? But at this point, I'm going to stick to the game tonight and stick to the positives. Otherwise, I'm going to veer off here. But I'd say Luke Kennard has been the best out-of-nowhere transaction that Rob Pelinka has had in his what would now be, 7, almost 8 years, I think, 2018. Yeah, 8 to 9 years that he's been in that position. And I don't think anybody anticipated Luke Kennard being this good. I knew he could shoot, and we had issues with him possibly playing defense a certain way, but he has played amazing team defense since he's been here. And that happens sometimes, guys. The 2008 Celtics had 2 guys on that team that never played defense, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. And when they had to put it together, they became one of the best defensive teams ever, and that included with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Defense is about desire. Yes, a structure is good. Yes, guys that can talk, guys that can guide, good teammates, chemistry, good coaching. Yes, all that plays a factor in it. But defense is about desire most of the time, especially when you're at the NBA level. And Luke Kennard is looking for a future. And I am all on board in bringing back Luke Kennard to be a part of the next run. I mean, the Luke Kennards like you saw tonight and you've been seeing the last few weeks, those are the type of X factor players that win you championships when your team is set for a championship run. Those guys are quintessential. So very happy with that acquisition, especially considering I could not stand Gabe Vincent with all of my being. I could not stand that player ever. I mean, it was just tragedy after tragedy watching that guy try to play. So to trade that and get somebody like Kennard just adds even more. That's even more to the elation of it and the dopamine that's going on in my head. So props to Rob again. You got to give props, even though I'm still not a big fan of Rob Pelinka. Got to give him props for that one. That was a huge win. Let's see here. This is Lakers basketball, I believe, having Marcus Smart given. Hey, Marcus Smart Marcus Smart is another guy that you're not ever really going to lose when you have him on your team. He plays too hard. He's a wily veteran, good chemistry, not selfish. Like he may have a boneheaded shot every now and then, but who cares? You know, that sometimes they go in. So is it a bonehead move, or maybe it just didn't go in and it was a bonehead move? I like guys like Marcus Smart. I obviously love Luke Kennard and what's going on with him at this point. You know, even even Laravia has been playing his rear end off. Even if he's not making shots, he's playing his rear end off. He's been gauging rebounds, doing well, getting on the ground, doing his thing. I mean, everybody needs to understand in a team sport, man, everything matters when it comes to buying in. Everyone matters, especially when your main guys are out. And then on top of that, we're going to get into this with LeBron a little bit too. On top of that, you have LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever do it, who's just been accommodating. The guy had, I think, 9 assists in the first quarter. So he was really trying to essentially try to keep him, you know, it's self-preservation for him at this point. He's preserving as much as he can and providing at the same time so that these guys can do what they, you know, get excited and make a shot. You know, these guys are all pros, man. These guys are all, everyone in life, every one of these NBA players made it, right? They're in the NBA. They're at the highest level. So imagine when you're feeding these guys and giving them the ball in their spots and they're making those shots. You don't think that that's going to elevate their game? You don't think that's going to level them up a little bit against even guys that are immensely more talented than they are? Of course it is. These guys are at the highest level. There's only approximately 450 out of 8 billion people that play in the NBA in a given night, right? You know, 15, let's say, roster spots times 30, right? So these guys are rare. And man, are they playing way above their potential, way above their talents. Tonight's game, as much as Houston stinks on offense, as much as KD isn't there, you have to also understand that the Lakers don't have their 2 best players on the team. Well, the 2 best scorers on the team. I can't put anybody over. Well, I can put Luka above LeBron at this point, but I'm still going to say LeBron's the 2nd best player on the team at this point. You have 2 of those guys out. So would you say it's evened out? And even with it evened out, even in a playoff game, and you still whoop their ass the entire game pretty much. That says a lot. That says a lot, at least to me. Let's see here. Please stop showing Austin Reeves during the game laughing on the with that Anton Chigurh haircut. Is that what's bothering you? Is that what's bothering you, Juan? The other stepping up, helping also help LeBron the fresh and close out Houston. Then Kennard, Smart, Ayton making shots in the fourth. Yeah, again making shots at when it went prime time too. That was all over. That was LeBron doing it. Kennard was doing it. Ayton was doing it. Rui was doing it. Rui, when he's hitting that mid-range shot, guys, and he's hitting those wide open threes, it's very hard to beat the Lakers because you can't guard everyone. You just can't guard everyone. The fact that Houston kept leaving. So here's what's going to happen. You are going to have to deal with the fact that you have to pick your poison at this point, right? But today they left Kennard open, and, well, you can't leave Kennard open. So what are you going to do? You're going to leave Rui open now? Are you going to leave Marcus Smart? They kept making those shots. And LeBron hit a almost logo 3 as well. Well, look who it is.
Wrestlemania, baby. Yeah, and the Lakers win on top of it. Oh,
So
yeah.
who was in the main event?
Cody Rhodes versus...
You getting choked up over there?
Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes won. But who cares about that? The fact is that the best part about it is Pat McAfee is off my television for good in WWE. Well,
so you don't like Pat McAfee?
Oh, I hate him. He's terrible on WWE. He's terrible. Absolutely the worst.
What about his wrestling skills, though? Didn't he take the stunner like really well?
Well, he could do that really well. I wouldn't mind seeing him DDT a few times, but yeah, don't get him in near the commentary booth. He is absolutely terrible. But he's gone. Because, Joe, they always stick to wrestling stipulations. They never go back on wrestling stipulations. But great win by the Lakers. 61% from the field, Joe. Absolutely an outstanding performance by the guys today. But WrestleMania, baby, great time. My daughter had fun. Her favorite, Liv Morgan, won. So, yes, absolutely.
Pretty convenient having WrestleMania in Vegas, huh?
Yep. I ain't going to Saudi, that's for sure. But yep, there was a good deal through her school, V. So I said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Was it packed?
No. They announced 50,000, but it wasn't 50,000. I could say maybe 40, 41. I've been there. I've told you I go to Raiders games, so I've been there when it's a lot more packed. They tapered off parts of the building. The stage was takes up a lot of the space anyways. So yeah, it was not 50,000, but it's about 40, 42, 43,000. No, I got a UNLV discount. My daughter is a student there. So yeah, she got me a discount there. So I said,
excellent,
all right,
excellent. Well, it's good. That's good. I went to Bash at the Beach. That was the last wrestling event I went to. Wasn't Bash at the Beach that you people remember from that time?
Mm-hmm.
Not that one. The one that was in San Diego at the Cox Arena, and with Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman,
who was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it was the Attitude Era was so much fun, and I know that Hulk Hogan and the NWO. And Austin, like everybody was part of the. They always say, "Well, where did it start? Did it start with the NW with Hogan going south? Going rogue? Was it Austin's 316 speech? Was it DX? Was it whatever?" I always say it was both, and even a little bit of ECW in there. And to me, and maybe I'm being biased here because my guy was Scott Hall, Razor Ramon / Scott Hall. To me, that was the guy. He's the face of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And what made Scott Hall great, and it made The Rock great too, is because I always, the more I hear about some of the commentary around that time, I notice a correlation between The Rock and Scott Hall. I think, who was it that quoted The Rock saying that The Rock would, it was Brock Lesnar. Brock said, The Rock told him you have to be selfish a little bit sometimes. And he explained why. And, it's a couple hour podcast. And the way he said it was correct. Like, you got to be selfish. You got to know, hey, look, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to do is going to hit. People are going to like it. And it's going to drive audiences here. And it's going to create money. That's what the whole system is. The Hulk Hogan, God rest his soul, and I know he was a complicated guy, and I know he said some stupid stuff towards the end there, but if you the game was about making money, and Bobby Heenan even talked about this. He actually never said anything bad about Hulk Hogan off camera, and to me that says a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot, at least from him on the business side of things. Again, I don't know, Gerald, if you know something that I don't know, but in the end, Scott Hall, to me, The Rock, knowing the business, being selfish, but also understanding the business is about making money. I felt those guys were the bridge to making that whole thing work. And then, of course, Hogan and Austin are the Mount Rushmore guys of that.
Absolutely.
So,
but I will say that the main event was kind of stretched out. It took 30 minutes for all the introductions and stuff beforehand, and it was kind of slow. So I had plenty of opportunity to watch the game on my phone. And I'll tell you what, the Lakers, again, Joe, everybody's got to be proud of the effort today. No Kevin Durant there for them, but still the Lakers provided with a great shooting performance, 61%. You cannot say anything else but a great job by the Lakers all around. A great team effort. Luke Kennard had a great game. DeAndre Ayton, really solid as well. So yeah, absolutely. This is the perfect time though, Stefan, to get rid of Rob because he's very inconsistent. You know his ups and downs. So this is the perfect time to get rid of Rob Pelinka because he's made some good moves recently. So you know he's due for some bad ones. So this is the perfect time to get rid of Rob Pelinka. Cannot wait. I mean, Joe, I heard Hollinger, who was a former NBA GM, he was just ripping on the Lakers in his recent podcast about how bad that back half of the Lakers roster is. But you know what? The front half did a great job today. Up to man number 8. We will not talk about man number 9 coming off the bench. We'll just kind of leave that to the side. But
John Hollinger is still talking shit.
Oh, he was telling. He said the Lakers' back half of the rotation has been bad for the past 2 years. So yes, like I said, great time to get rid of Rob Pelinka right now because we know that a downturn is coming as far as his talent evaluation is concerned. So yes, great job by Rob in getting the stuff right now as far as DeAndre Ayton, who came and played a great game today. Is probably, like you said, his best playoff game ever. Luke Kennard was fantastic today. Great acquisitions getting him. But yes, we know that the consistency is not there with Rob, Joe. We've been watching it all these years, so better get out while the getting's good.
It doesn't matter whether Rob is there or not. There's new decision makers. There's new decision makers in there, and we still don't really know how that all came about. By the way, just again, I'm not. He's in the position now, so you give him props, but we don't really know. We don't really know what's going to happen this summer when everything gets reevaluated.
And then LeBron, yes, just as a facilitator, getting everything done offensively. I mean, it was great. It was great to watch, Joe.
Kobe used to say,
yes,
make sure you keep your defense offensively.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Make sure you keep your defense offensive.
So I'm going to ask you this, Joe. I mean, again, the Lakers, they won.
The Kobe system?
Yes. 61% shooting.
Tony, I'll have a shot on the experiment after the Lakers fast break. I'll have a shot with you guys.
Just want to ask your thoughts on this real quick because the Lakers won 61% shooting. Absolutely terrific performance. The thing is, though, is a concern. I know that we had talked about, or actually I said on my Lakers latest shows that the rebounding was a very important issue in practice leading up to this and all 4 days leading up to this. And they got killed on the offensive rebounds 21-3. Is this going to be any concern for you, whether or not Kevin Durant comes back, yes or no, on Tuesday? Because I don't know how many 61% shooting games in the playoffs you're going to get from the Lakers.
Well, I think
a hard thing to do.
I think a lot of the reasons why in this game I thought they may have relinquished power to the rebound was to get set on defense. That's just my interpretation of things because they seem to be pretty set. Well,
they were out rebounded.
Offensive rebounds are a little different because they're not setting up on defense at that point. They're just they're trying to score.
I was just happy that the rebounding battle didn't
it's bad. No, 21-3 is bad. No matter what game you're playing, it just I think because Houston's such a horrible offensive team, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But 21-3 is horrible. But
and without Kevin Durant, they lost a lot of their all-around play and their shot making as well.
The problem, even with Durant being in there, is maybe obviously it's going to be different without Luka and Austin in there, maybe. But if they trap Durant, what are they going to do? I thought they were going to adjust in the second game when they played earlier in the year when they went up to Houston to win those 2 games. I thought they were going to adjust to that in that second game because of how bad they were in the first game. They didn't adjust. Matter of fact, they looked worse
until the second half.
They looked worse.
Two straight quarters at the back end of that first game, and the two straight quarters for the first half of the second game that they really just shut down Kevin Durant entirely. But yeah, absolutely a great performance by the Lakers indeed. Absolutely great to have you here. Hopefully you're watching us right now on the show. Truly appreciate you doing so. Joe, you with me? There we go. All right. I don't want you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, great performance by the Lakers nonetheless. Absolutely. And I said leading up to it, I said on Lakers latest that they have to win these 2 games at home. Without Luka, without Austin, they have to take these 2 games at home to win this series.
Yeah, there's really no denying that. It has to be both. And I believe that until I see it, I believe that I think Kevin Durant's going to miss game 2. I think he's going to miss it. I think his knee is not good. I know
El Rosto said he may be coming back for 2. That legs, Tim Legler said that that's a good possibility for game 2. But again, it's all speculation at this point, and we'll monitor it for you guys here, especially if you're catching us on Twitter as well at Lakers Fast Break.
Again, if he comes back and they win, then obviously you got the offensive firepower that you needed to win game 2. I didn't see anything tonight that would say the Lakers are going to not do in the next game. I think they're still going to hit their open shots. I still think they're going to play defense the way they were. LeBron's going to facilitate. Kennard, I think, will still be hitting his shots. I don't see them changing anything and not doing well in those areas. Matter of fact, even if they, let's say, didn't shoot as well, but they were able to pick up the rebounds and then hit their free throws, now those kind of sort of even out maybe. I don't know 100%, but that's how I feel at the moment.
Robert Wheeler has a question for you below. Joe, if KD can't return in the series, do you view the Lakers as no longer the underdogs and should win the series?
Yes, no longer the underdog. Yeah, I think that's yeah,
I agree.
Because they can't score. I was actually surprised. I hadn't paid attention to the stats, the Houston stats this year. But Durant, even in his advanced age, dropped 26 a game this year. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I thought he was in the 21 or 22 area.
No, he's 27 now. He's 27 a game.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing, by the way. That's a huge amount of points that you're not getting, especially with the fact that the Lakers are missing their 2 guys. You're talking about the scoring champ, the All-NBA first team, which, by the way, thank you, NBA, for understanding and bypassing the 65 game rule for Luka, because not having Luka as a first team All-NBA player this year would have been an embarrassment in my view.
Even with the game suspension, I know the 2 games off for his childbirth. I think that's what allowed him to go ahead and get that bypass. But I wish in some way that he would learn his lesson on not getting so many technicals. That's the part that he's not going to get punished. He didn't get punished. He ended up not hurting his team because they played Washington, and he ended up not hurting his paycheck at all either. Very much. Outside the 1 game.
It's unfortunate, but in life there's always something, right? And he solved he solved the defensive issues, right? He played really good defense. If you look at the metrics of his defense this year, he's actually been pretty good. Mm-hmm. Now, Luka, if you're going to try to be the next even a level above what you have, Luka, you got to stop getting technicals. You are not Rasheed Wallace. You are not Draymond Green. I mean, Rasheed Wallace should have been the best power forward to ever live, but he's not. Right? He didn't have the temperament for it. But
he has such great talent. I always when I talk
he was
about
ahead
him
of his
and Horry,
time. He was ahead of his time because you had a power forward who could shoot and post and a good teammate and was smart as hell.
But they both cruised, him and Horry. They cruised to the regular season because they wanted to do it when it mattered.
The thing is, as much as I love Robert Horry, and men do Laker fans love Robert Horry. We love Robert. Love Robert Horry. If I'm in the bar and Robert's in there, he's not paying for a drink.
No.
Love Robert Horry. But Rasheed Wallace had top 3. And I'm not exaggerating. He had top 3 power forward all-time skills.
I'm not arguing with you on
right?
That.
So Luka is not Rasheed Wallace, what he was. He's not Robert Horry. He's not Draymond Green. Luka is in the what could be. It's probably not, because top 10 is impossible in my view at this point. He would have to do something astronomically crazy, like win 5 or 6 championships. But he has the talent to be a top 10 player of all time in the NBA. You are a different level, Luka. You cannot be getting technicals, and you cannot miss free throws. You cannot miss free throws. You cannot be a 78% free throw shooter. You need to be sitting at 83, 85. Those little things. And he was okay in the beginning of the year. He was like at 82 or 83. Luka needs to fix this technical thing. He needs to stop talking to the refs, and he needs to start hitting his free throws. He does that. This team's going to continue to keep building around them. Boom, boom, boom. And I wanted to segue to LeBron here after I started the show, because I really want to talk about LeBron and his mindset on what's going on right now. But to finish off the Luka thing, Luka's at the precipice here, guys. I mean, what we saw in March is something that you don't see that every day, guys. I don't know if you guys we're used to seeing the Jokic's getting triple doubles left and right and that kind of stuff. Maybe because we're Laker fans, we've seen Kobe do stuff and we saw Jordan do it. What Luka's doing is not normal, and the fact that he makes it look like it's not normal or it looks normal, it just further reasons why this guy needs to be more focused so that he can really, really get to that level of back-to-back, three-peat type team if he can get there, right? And that's it on him. But to go to LeBron, I wanted to talk a little bit about the details of LeBron and what's happened here in the last 3-4 months. I have become, and this has been 8 years now, Gerald, he's been with us. I am a LeBron James fan at this point. I've become a LeBron James fan. And I think the reason why I've become a fan is I think this might be the first time he's kind of understood his mortality. And he's now not being the LeBron, I make the decisions. He's now saying, you know what, I got to prove to myself, to these guys now, so that I can continue this amazing run. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not saying I want this or that. I don't. But what he's done in this last few months is I've seen unselfish LeBron. I haven't seen his lackeys talking. I haven't seen him drop a
noise, Joe. There's been no noise.
Noise.
That's what's great about this.
And when I'm hoping that this, and again, I don't care if it's fake. He's doing it. I don't care. I don't care if it's fake, because the results is what matters. And what I believe has happened is he understands, either through humble pie, either through the mortality part of his psyche at this point, maturity, whatever. Maybe somebody kind of sitting him down and going, LeBron, you need to shut the hell up and actually start focusing on what you really want here. Do you want to continue with this? Do you really? Because we as not professional evaluators, as fans of our team and evaluating our team's talent. Who's going to be there this summer that's as talented as LeBron? That's a question you need to ask yourself. That's a question you really, really need to ask yourself. That's going to factor in this summer. You can't get caught up in, we got to move on, we got to move on. Yes, maybe 3 months ago we were saying that. But right now, with the way they've been playing, the fact that the guys that are the 1 and 2 are not playing and it's still winning, like these things have changed now. Now my perception of this has changed. I have to see what's at stake in terms of what they're going to need to do this summer. And LeBron James, I believe this is what's going to happen here. LeBron has been humbled. LeBron is playing unselfish. LeBron is setting the example. LeBron is playing great basketball. And you have an amazing ownership now that has resources, and they're going to continue to build and make sure this thing runs to a championship and more. So now, what are they going to do? Well, for me, if LeBron has a friendly contract and can continue to play like the way he's playing here, and there isn't somebody else that could come in and create that same effect. It doesn't have to be what LeBron does on the court, just the effect of winning. Then how do you not consider bringing him back for another year to see if they can maybe add a couple pieces and maybe make a run? I don't know. It's kind of going ahead of the future here. I think I'm just mentioning this because it is LeBron James, and a little bit of the future needs to be talked about because it's either going to end or maybe go another year. I don't know. But to me, he has earned at least the respect of sitting down and seeing if there's a possibility here, if it would make sense. He's earned that. And I'm proud to say that I've just enjoyed this LeBron very much. I really have. I'm very happy with how he's conducted himself and how he's performed.
Once again, the Lakers do win 107-98. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Please like and subscribe. JSJ about the concert. This is like, again, there was some good stuff at Wrestlemania that happened. And again, made my daughter ecstatic. She was so thrilled when Liv Morgan won. She had a great time. I am extremely happy about that. And the fact that no more Pat McAfee on my WWE television, because they never go back, like I said earlier with Joe, they never go back on stipulations in wrestling. I'm sorry. Yes, it makes it all the more better indeed. Yeah, but again, JSJ, she loves it. That's all that matters. She loves it. She was happy. That's all that matters to me. That was great. And it's had a lot of fun. I now have a WrestleMania I have fond memories of. I've been to 3. I now finally have one that I have great memories of. So that's all that matters. And yeah, I went to the Superstore last night at the convention center. That was huge. They had a lot of stuff. I'm telling you. And anything Danhausen was selling off. Yeah, they just sold off there. But Robert Wheeler says, oh no, that was the old one, right? Oh yeah. That's the one. That's the old one, Joe. That's the one you already answered.
Cool.
But yeah, great game. The thing is, though, Joe, that Houston is a great matchup for the Lakers, and I'll tell you why. Because we talked about Luke Kennard's great game, right? But what's the one thing you're always worried about him? And the reason why he's switched to so many teams is because of his defense. And we saw him late in the season. He gets matched up. Him and LaRavia got matched up against SGA and Flag, and it was no contest. Those guys got roasted, but they don't have the same type of one-on-one players in the backcourt, Joe, that the other teams do. So they weren't able to exploit Kennard or LaRavia or any of the Lakers guards on the defensive end as much. And I think that is a key as well, Joe. They just don't have the offensive playmakers right now in Houston to go ahead and exploit the Lakers' weaknesses. And as long as the Lakers can shoot right around, I don't think we can expect a 60% game again from the floor for the Lakers. But if they can shoot anywhere near 50, shoot a solid percentage from three, and slow down the offensive rebounds, I think we can go ahead and take game 2 as well.
If their defense continues to do what they've done in the last 3 games, this isn't just tonight. They've done this 3 games in a row. With 8 KD, with KD again, without KD, this team is offensively deficient in a bad way, in a really bad way, actually. It's not just deficient; it's in a bad way.
They just don't have too many players that can break you off the dribble.
No, they're desperate for a point guard, and the point guard can't in any way distribute or dish or penetrate and dish. There's none of that going on. These guys are all a bunch of shooters. That's all they are. So imagine that. Like Reed Shepherd is a shooter. He's not a point guard. So you have no one to orchestrate the offense. You give it to KD, whom, and this is the part, guys, that I want you guys to really pay attention to. KD's an all-timer. KD's one of the greatest scorers that's ever lived in any sport. But KD's not LeBron. He can't control the ball like LeBron can. And that's what I've always said in terms of why KD has never been better than LeBron in any year, at any time, regardless of him winning in Golden State. It's the same reason why Steph has never been better than LeBron in any realm of any possibility, even during Steph Curry's back-to-back MVP years. LeBron.
I'm going to say conservatively, though, too, because they're asking, for Luka and Costa return. I'd say 4 or 5. I'm not sure 2 or 3 is realistic.
I mentioned I feel pretty confident.
Okay. Are we off the air again? Did Joe freeze on me? Joe froze on me. Okay. All right. Looks like we're good. Okay. There he goes. There's Joe back. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. You're ping ponging, man. Your feet is ping ponging. I hope you guys are with me. It's Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate you being here again. Looking forward to. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I can hear me. I'm seeing myself on. There you go. All right. Now you were ping ponging there for a second.
When I'm on the studio with you, this always happens.
Yeah, that's so weird how that. Yeah,
I have to get off and go. I have to be the outsider.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. But again, it is of course the Lakers winning 107-98. But yeah, they just don't have the players to break down the Lakers off the dribble as much or as well as without KD, and so it makes their offense a lot harder. And the defense today for the Lakers showcased that, I believe, as well.
Yeah, again, to finish off what I was saying before I got cut off, I don't believe they should come back in the first round. I think the Lakers. I had said that if the Lakers actually take a while to finish the series, it actually helps them get healthier if they are going to come back in the second round. So that's kind of where that is. I don't know if it would be a good thing to win in 4 or 5 if that was a possibility. If they win all their home games, they win the series, correct?
Yeah.
So let's just say, for discussion purposes, the Lakers win in 6 or 7, let's say. That's good. That means it's extra games that Luka and Austin can stay healthy or get healthier.
But if it could go to game 5 on the 20th, that's 11 days away, Joe. And if they can hold out to game 5, that would be sweet to get them back then.
I think Luka might come back if that were the case. I don't think AR is ready to come back.
Okay.
I think AR is a second rounder for sure. But that's just me guessing. That's not based off any. I'm basing it off of the Mookie Betts oblique issue. Obliques take 4 to 6 weeks to go. So when did Austin get hurt?
Same day as Luka. That was what? Hold on, let me find.
Wasn't it April 1, something like that?
Yeah, it's April 1. Yeah.
So April 1. So that's You're pushing it. It's a month out. I think obliques take probably more than a month. I think you want to go the full 6, but that's just what I've heard in the past. Luka, I don't know what the hell they shot him with over there in Germany or Spain or whatever the hell, but he doesn't need a lot of athleticism to do what he needs to do. So maybe he can come back. I don't know, but I think they'll make that assessment if they're able to win game 2 and go up 2-0. They do have a little bit of, I guess, distance, but do you think they can win one in Houston at least if they go up 2-0?
It's going to be hard for them in this current makeup. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it has to go to. I'm going to say it has to come back. It'll come back tied. I think it'll come back tied on the 29th, and I think we're going to get Luka back around the 29th.
So here's the question I have for you: is Houston that kind of team where they'll win 3 in a row?
No, that I don't think they will do.
So even if they win both at home, they're not going to win Game 5.
If we win game 2, that's really going to set a lot of confidence for the Lakers, and then they're playing with house money at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. See, what's it? YYC. Well, Jalen Green just dropped 36 last night, and he is, for however flawed he is as a player, one thing he can do is take you off the dribble, which is the one thing they're missing right now in Houston. Thank goodness. And I'll just leave it at that. I mean, they gave up one of their most grittiest players in Dylan Brooks. Love him or hate him, he's still Dylan the villain, and he's still. I mean, he found his stroke this year, averaging over 20 points a game, and then they got Jalen Green as well, who's come on late, and even when Devin Booker got thrown out of the game, didn't matter because Jalen Green, the one thing he can do is score. So I don't know. May not be such a good trade for Kevin Durant after all.
I felt pretty confident that Phoenix was going to win last night. I thought Golden State blew their wad against the Clippers. It was one of those things where, was it really the Golden State Warriors or was it just the Clippers being the Clippers? And my assessment on that question is always the Clippers are always going to be the Clippers, no matter who is playing, no matter who they are, no matter who the coach is. A loser franchise with a billionaire owner, a racist owner, Bob Weiss, Doc Rivers, it doesn't matter. The Clippers are the most pathetic franchise that's ever existed in today's sports.
And let's touch on that JSJ, because I know it was also mentioned by El Rosto talking about JJ earlier. We talked about JJ, and I did in recent days. If you watched the Lakers latest on the Lakers latest channel, we talked earlier today, as far as the last preview I did was on JJ versus Ime Udoka, and I said that JJ has to go ahead and make sure he provides a good game plan and is able to counteract what Ime is going to throw at him. And today it worked. Mind you, they still didn't get the message on the rebounding, Joe, but they shot well enough and found the right places, the right way to go ahead and get the ball moved around to the right man so that they could hit those shots. And again, if they can still do that, again, I don't expect a 61% shooting from the floor. I think you guys are kidding yourself if they're going to try and do that again for 2 games in a row in the playoffs. But if they can at least get to close to 50%, Joe, and slow down the rebounding a little bit more and make it closer, I think they can take game 2. And I think a lot of credit of that would have to be to go to JJ Redick.
Well, I think it's time that JJ gets enough credit for being a guy that's ascending.
Yeah.
This team is not this team doesn't have a lot of really talented players. You had this dipshit John Hollinger who's still talking about the Lakers 30 years later about things. And since that piece of shit has been shitting on the Lakers, they've won 6 championships in that time. So imagine what he would think about the Clippers. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's a Clipper fan or something that we don't know about, and he still has to shit on the Lakers. If you're going to shit on the Lakers for any reason, you have to shit on them based off of, I guess, the lack of championships, and that at the point would make sense because they're the Lakers. Criticizing the back half of their roster, I don't know if that makes any sense for someone like him. I think that's more of the day-to-day guys that watch the Lakers every day, because I have a really, really hard time believing that piece of shit watches every Laker game. And even so, when did he do this again, John? I'm sorry, when did he do this, Gerald? When did he say this? When did he shit on the Lakers? When was it? Was it last week?
Yeah, I think it
Or
was
a few days ago? Okay.
Yeah, they're all been doing that on the Lakers.
Okay. So that proves to you how clueless he is even more. If you've watched this team play the last 7 weeks, almost 7 weeks, you will have realized that this team is actually playing their asses off, even the ones that are not talented. And you have also noticed, and I know the audience has, we haven't been very critical of this team. We have no reason to be critical. They're playing hard. They're playing really hard.
Now, I do want to ask you this. When I saw Bronny James, I was watching from the Allegiant Stadium, and I saw Bronny James check the game. I'm like, Joe, how will he feel about Bronny James checking into a playoff game? I got to ask. Sorry. How did you feel when that moment happened?
I'm going to check out, Gerald, and come back. I'm going to check out and come back in outside the studio so that this doesn't happen again.
No worries. That was all good. I think we're good. I think we're still good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're good.
You're frozen. You're frozen. I don't see your face moving.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm see you. I see you now. There you go. I'm seeing myself. So
okay, you're still frozen on my end, but let me get back out so we don't have to keep freezing this out. I'll be right back.
All right. So guys, okay. Fair enough. So I wanted to ask him the hard question on Bronny because I know that you guys all want the answer for that one. But we'll see. But he has said on the Bill Simmons podcast, JSJ, that Doc Rivers said he's retired from coaching. Again, that's like WWE stipulations where if you throw enough money at it, it'll change. But Joe, so what was your mood or feeling when Bronny checked in that second quarter? I have to ask.
I don't. We had talked about this on the chat that the Lakers really did themselves a disservice not letting him go and retaining Jordan Goodwin.
Played really well last night.
Yes, he did, and he was improving even with the Lakers. You could see it. He was getting better and better, and this is why we get angry about that kind of stuff too. It became this
4 minutes, 1 turnover, 2 fouls.
I have to continue to say this because it's not. This is about winning. You have to get the best players to win, and this is the other half of the bad part about the management of the Lakers this last few years. You cannot. NBA players that are productive don't grow on trees.
But the worst part about it is JJ had to, I don't know if you saw this, JJ in practice earlier this week had to actually tell everybody, he had to actually tell the press, there's actual quotes, how they feel that he's improved so greatly and that they trust Bronny James and that they trust in moments like these.
They trusted him enough to where he didn't play in the second half. Because what happened in the end of the first?
It was yeah.
Stop insulting our intelligence. Again, I just went through the LeBron appreciation segment of this show. I understand what's going on with it, and it needs to stop. And that is another big thing that they got to talk to LeBron about in the offseason. They got to understand if a roster spot is between someone like a Jordan Goodwin versus his son, you have to keep Jordan Goodwin.
Yep.
This is not a YMCA. Let's create an atmosphere of positiveness. This is the fucking NBA. And those assholes in Oklahoma City are going to get another lottery pick. If these fuckers get Cameron Boozer, we're fucked. Just know that. The Lakers are jacked.
We're messed up.
That's the other guy too, but I think he's going to be ahead. I don't think Oklahoma City is going to get a. I don't think they're going to get the first pick or the second pick. I think they'll probably, if they get lucky, maybe a 3 and a 4.
They're in the same slot that Dallas was in last year. I seriously doubt they're going to go ahead and get the number 1. So that the odds of that happening are even more astronomical than it was last year. That the same place gets the same pick.
Let me just say this: if they get Cameron Boozer, it's over. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win championships for the next, especially if they win it this year. Yeah, they're going to win. They'll probably three-peat.
Thameless is saying Luka's been called both a Nuggets killer and an OKC killer. How true is this? I don't know what to say. No, but there's no killer that's out there. He's had some good games against both those teams, but there's also
took OKC when they were a 1 seed.
Yeah, but I don't want to say killer. I don't want to go to the when somebody says that they're
hold on. Let's roll with it. What's the record been against Denver since Luka's been a Laker?
I don't know per se.
Pretty damn good. Let's just say pretty damn good. They're winning those games. Before then, I think the Nuggets were destroying the Lakers. What, 9 out of 10 games? Not counting the playoffs at that point. So Luka comes to LA and they start beating Denver. And then Oklahoma City is based off of them taking Dallas taking OKC out when they were the 1 seed. That's huge too. But the thing is, Luka has a lot of Freddie Freeman in him in terms of when you see his stats against other teams, you'll start noticing they're all the same. It's highlighted more because it's OKC, it's Denver. Luka fucks everybody up. Luka drops 27, 28 on everyone. So it looks like he's dominating. Luka can score at will anywhere, anytime. Denver, Oklahoma, LA, Miami, Spain, Slovenia, Serbia. It doesn't matter.
He just has that gift.
He has it. He is Larry Bird with a much further distance in terms of shooting. That's who he is. He is a immensely gifted basketball IQ player. You have guys like you were just mentioning the crazy man in Phoenix. He was being interviewed in a vehicle. And he said, "Who's the hardest guy to guard?" And he mentioned Luka. He goes, "Once he gets you on his hip, it's over." And I don't know if you guys remember, that's a 6'8", 220 to 230 pound man talking about another guy. When you get to his hip, you're done. That's pretty good.
So, Joe, what you got cooking up for your experiment coming up here in just a few then?
I'm going to be on at 10. I'm going to take a little bit of a hiatus here in about 10 minutes to prepare for the show. We're going to
shut the show down.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to talk. It's basically the LA edition. We're going to talk about the Lakers a little bit more, and then also talk about the Dodgers and their amazing start.
Lost to the Rockies, man.
Yeah, it was one of those games where they couldn't really hit, and they just got a couple of bad breaks. Will Klein got they were hitting doubles left and right. They just sometimes teams they get tired of being the run-ons, and they just kept hitting doubles all game today. The fact that they hit as many doubles as they did and the won like 4-3, that made it even sadder.
It's what was this? Elephant. It's 9:30 here. We're just getting started on the West Coast.
How you all not sleepy? Oh yeah, this is the West Coast, Elephant. We don't worry about that stuff. It's one of the reasons why I don't move to the West or to the East Coast, because I like to watch games and then party afterwards, not go to sleep.
Just think about if you're in Hawaii right now. It's still 6:30.
Oh
there.
Man,
it's just dinner time.
I would work in Hawaii. Although I would prefer to live in Hawaii when it was like 2008, not now. Right now, it looks destitute.
All good, Elephant. All good. No worries. But glad to have you here. Glad to have everyone here. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Love to have you part of what we're doing each and every time.
I don't believe Wemby's going to be. I have to see Wemby play I need to see him be healthy. His health is still to me a question mark.
Yeah,
I don't know.
DFS. I said before, Joe, I just didn't have the faith in DFS. He is, who he's always been, and now that he's getting older, in Houston, he got the injury and he has just not looked good there and didn't get any time today. And again, I was not sad at all that let him go
I
from
think
here
the I,
because
I think the issue with DFS was the fact that they gave up 3 second-round picks for him.
he's just who he is. He's
That
just
was the problem with that thing. I wasn't too concerned about losing him either. It's what they gave up, which was kind of, I guess at that time they had no, maybe Rob didn't have a choice, but that's still like really three second-round picks for DFS. But water under the bridge doesn't matter at this point. It's done. We all know what it turned out to, and Houston's stuck with that contract now, and that's their problem. And they should have, for what Washington gave up for Trae Young, they should have figured something out to get Trae Young in Houston. That might have saved their season, but it is what it is. I'm just happy that the Lakers are continuing to play well, and JJ Redick is a big part of this, and it's a big part also with LeBron James and him buying into what's going on in his career at this point.
It's been very impressive to watch. And again, what a great job today as the team by the Los Angeles Lakers. Again, 61% shooting. They get the victory tonight. Absolutely just a fantastic performance, 107-98. Luke Kennard, 27 points. DeAndre Ayton. The numbers won't pop out at you with what DeAndre Ayton did as far as out there, but 19 and 11 and a block shot. He was absolutely, this is his best playoff performance, in my opinion, as well, Joe. I know you said that earlier. LeBron with 19, 8, and 13 assists. He set the table early and often. Rui and Marcus Smart with 29 points combined. Didn't get a whole lot from the bench, but they weren't outside of Bronny, hurting you as a whole. They were all on the plus side, and that's what counts.
Again, Laravia hitting 4 free throws in a row, huge. Jared Vanderbilt doing Vanderbilt things. I'm not the big Vanderbilt guy, but it is what it is. I thought Jackson Hayes played his best playoff game of his career. And you can't say he didn't play with somebody that's talented. Sengun is a good player, but this is the second game I've seen Sengun play against the Lakers where he was kind of ineffective. So I don't know what JJ Redick has done the last 2 games, but it's been working because he usually would play well against the Lakers.
Trojan, fight on. I just wanted to let you know that I think, to answer your question, if the Lakers win game 2, I say he doesn't come back till game 5 because that's the 29th. That's 11 days from now. And that would be such a great help to have him rest that much, Joe. But again, the key is, can they win 2 here in LA?
Well, the important part is if he comes back early, it's hopefully to get himself revved up for the second round. That's the other thing that you have to factor in. Can he get himself going for a game or 2 in the first round? They win, and then they go into the second round with a little bit of something. So their next game is on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then
plenty of chance for LeBron to rest.
So here's what I think is going to happen. If indeed he is coming back in this first round, let's just say he will. I could see him playing game 4 on the 26th.
It's a possibility, but that's only a 2-day interval between the so it could mean a more tired. If he comes back then, that'll counteract the fact that LeBron will have less.
Because what they're going to want is, if they're up 2-1 and they have a chance to win game 4 to go back to LA to win game 5 to finish the series, they may want to do that. They may want to risk trying to see if they can get this thing done quick.
I think, we kept Vando and let Goodwin go. Yes, give Vando credit, but I know how much Vando is making. You could have had Goodwin and another player that could have been in place of Bronny for that price as well. So I understand. I understand your feeling, Isaac. Absolutely. But Joe, I know it's been a great game for today. It's so enjoyable to do that as far as have a from wire to wire, the Lakers outside of that, close to the end of the first half, it really was a Lakers performance today. And again, it was just so great to see the efficient shot making, I think is the best part about it.
And you were waiting for them to stop making shots, and they weren't stopping, except they were hitting free throws. This might have been over in the middle of the fourth had they hit their free throws. But seeing how they were playing defense, it just got to that point right around the midway part of the second quarter. I had mentioned this on our chat room. I said, if they play like this for 2.5 more quarters, it doesn't really matter what happens on the offensive side. They'll make their shots, but their defense was really, really good. Those points, the fact that the game ended with only a 9-point win, that doesn't say enough about what was going on. The Lakers pretty much had this game in their pocket the entire time, even when they went down, or for like what I think a few minutes.
Yeah,
that's it. Time. Yeah, I think it was 51-50 or something.
Yeah, and then the first quarter they had a small, just a very quick lapse as well. But
and understand that there's a reason why Bronny James didn't play in the second half. Bronny James cannot be playing in this playoff run ever, except unless they're up by 40 with 1 minute left. That's it. You cannot risk a playoff game. And stop telling me he's improving. I don't care if he's improving. It's not going to be enough for him to be a legitimate NBA player. It's not going to happen. And I don't see myself being wrong on that. I just don't. He would have to go to Kobe level preparation. And I don't know if I see him doing that kind of work.
But again, let's keep it on a positive before we head on out. Again, just Luke Kennard. Stefan, you could take a little bit of solace on as far as pat yourself on the back for as far as the Rob decisions look great today. Again, still need to get rid of him ASAP because with his rocky roller coaster success story, both good and bad, the bad might be coming in the not too distant futures. But for now, you can enjoy and relish the fact that Rob's moves recently, for the most part, have paid off.
This year, the move, I guess the one move he made worked hugely because Luke Kennard has been really enjoyable to watch. It's not just that he's providing a huge boost for this team, but he is fun to watch. When he shoots and he has room, I'm surprised he misses. There's only a few people that I've ever watched that weren't stars that had that effect. Robert Horry was one. D. Fish is one. Trevor Ariza in the playoffs is another.
I feel like I know somebody with that name.
maybe I heard it and it stuck in my head and it came out. But it's nice. I don't think I've felt that in a while since the championship team that they had with guys like Caruso and Rondo. Rondo, man, is another guy that during that run in the playoffs in 2020, I'm like, is Rondo going to keep making these threes? He just kept making. Fox had timely threes. Yeah, that's a good one too, Isaac. Fox was an interesting player. That's my guy too, by the way. Fox, love Rick Fox. Rick Fox, my guy. Rick was just badass. Defense, off the bench, starter. Does make that shot here and there, but he didn't make it like Fish or Horry. But that wasn't the point. Point was he was just the perfect championship glue to that team. When I think about the three-peat team, and I've been talking a lot about that three-peat team now, especially with the way the Dodgers have been playing here the last month or so. I am so excited that if the Dodgers can three-peat this year, there's going to be so many discussions for the longest time on which three-peat LA team is better. And then we might even throw in a little bit of Minneapolis Lakers three-peat team on that. And I would have loved to have been able to say, let's compare it to the USC three-peat team if Lindell just gets that damn first down in the Rose Bowl. Sorry if I brought up a bad memory there, Gerald. And
no worries.
And who's in the Trojan on our talk. Believe me, I don't have a diehard team in college sports. But
greatest college football game ever.
No doubt, zero doubt. I don't think I'll ever see a better game. Now, I did see a pretty damn good, amazing game in the at the Rose Bowl with Michigan against Alabama, which happened to be Nick Saban's last game. Not knowing at the time, but that was his last game. So I'm honored to be at his last game because that's my favorite coach of all time. But yeah, that game was it's not gonna touch the Texas USC game, but damn, was that game fun too.
My favorite moments, Kobe's 81 notwithstanding, are the 88, 2002, 2010, and 2010 World Championship victories.
Which one?
All of them. I don't want to find a favorite. I don't want to even search for favorite. Maybe 2020. It was so emotional for me, and I got to see it with my daughter. Yeah. They're all fantastic.
What's you mean your favorite title?
Elephant was asking our favorite moment as a Laker fan.
Favorite title has to be 20.
Or not just favorite moment as a Lakers fan.
Favorite moment as a Lakers fan. Oof. Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I have to say after Game 7 because it was the Celtics. I had never seen a Celtic finals win.
Magic's baby hook in Boston Celtics.
So you have a memory of that because I was too young.
That brought tears to my eyes.
But
nature did. Oh.
And before then it was the Sacramento Game 7 game.
That was fantastic too.
Yeah, that one I had a little bit more connection. That one I had more connection with because I grew up in the Central Valley. Sacramento Kings were around me at that time. Growing up, so I was familiar with the team, and then the rivalry and all that added to the hatred.
Yes, .04 was great as well.
.04 may have been held more water had they won it that year, and even D. Fish had said it. But no. I don't think there's a prouder moment than after Game 7 against the Celtics, because not only did they beat the Celtics, not only did they get the revenge from 08. They came back from a 3-2 deficit. That had never happened in a Lakers-Celtic series. They won Game 7, which had never happened in a Laker-Celtic series. And the fact that Kobe won his 5th championship and Magic has 5 championships and the Lakers and that whole decade of 2000, 2010, you had this amazing run of 2 different championship runs, which was really, really cool.
JY, I was 4. I was barely out of diapers. I have no knowledge. I've seen the footage, JY, but it's not the same. Like Joe said, Joe was not there for 88. I was not there for 33 game win streak. I mean, I was there, but you know what I mean. I was 4 years old at the time, so I don't know how how I can experience it. So that's why I can't. Elephant was asking what are our favorite moments to us as Lakers fans, and not something I can have to watch back on YouTube or at that time when I first saw it on videotape. As far as that run by the Lakers.
Favorite moment. It has to be the moment that Lamar threw the ball to the other side and Kobe chases it. I remember that feeling. It was elation, relief, something that I didn't expect that would happen. So understand this, guys, as much as we dislike the Celtics right now, right?
It's even more. It's not close.
Well, it's not. At the time, like the three-peat Lakers, we didn't think about the Celtics at that point. The Celtics had been so bad, there wasn't really they were like a memory.
The hatred of the Celtics now is not. I mean, this generation does not have any clue as far as the hatred that the Lakers.
But even in the three-peat run, No one really talked about the Celtics, even when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. No one really cared about the Celtics. It didn't matter. It was really Sacramento and Portland, and then really it's San Antonio. San Antonio was the rival for 1999 through 2008.
I think I want to go ahead and say my greatest moment as a Laker. I know that it's almost sacrilegious to say against Kobe's 81, or like you said, Joe. But man, I don't think I ever got more excited when the Lakers came back against Portland in that great comeback, and then Kobe threw the lob to Shaq, and I can almost hear the call, Kobe to Shaq, and
Yeah.
that I went nuts. I went ballistic. I don't think I've ever gone that ballistic in my life. Was Kobe to Shaq right there. If you saw that comeback live like I did, you understand.
Yeah, I missed the first 6 minutes of that because I had been distraught. I thought they had lost, so I turned the game off.
Bob
Costa, and I clicked back
to keep it simple.
I clicked back on around I think the 7 or 6 or 8 minute mark, and then they were starting to make their real run, and then of course we saw what happened in the end there. Man, what a way to ignite a dynasty. It's crazy because I thought it was over. I really did. They were down 15.
Well, Stefan, they're going to get reignited to that because I don't know. There's a Jailblazers documentary. It's on Netflix. The Jailblazers documentary on Netflix. So I hope people catch that here in the not too distant future. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm going to watch that tonight as soon as I'm done with my show. So
Jailblazers, they were.
Yeah, they were bad. They were bad, and the Lakers were able to take advantage of it 3 years in a row. They ended up closing out Portland in 2000 in a tough way. But then the next 2 series, the Lakers never lost another game against that team. It was 3-0, 3-0 in each one. So with that, Gerald, thank you for letting me host again tonight. I will be on.
Thank you for stepping in. By the way, one last shout out if we can. Sure. John Costa couldn't be here tonight. A big shout out to him. He will most likely will not be here on our next post game as well, but. I also want to send my best wishes to Legend, who I guess could not come on tonight. Did not see him in the chat either, so I'm hoping he's going to be okay and everything's good. A little under the weather lately, so I'm hoping he'll be okay. So,
well, again, I'll be continuing our Laker Dodger talk here on the experiment after the show here. So, with that, thank you all for listening to the Lakers Fast Break with me as your host, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes if you're coming by.
Always sounds so much better after a win.
Legend is a legend.
Yes, he is.
Of legends.
Now let's get game 2, guys. Go Lakers.
Yes, and 3 and 4 and 8.